Doing something small well is often better than doing a lot. A small, thoughtful gesture is better than a thoughtless, expensive gift. Saying a few words clearly is better than a confusing jumble of words. Owning a few quality possessions is better than a house full of junk. The answer to life is not more status, more influence, and more money. In fact, little is often more, and this is especially true with God. Two occurrences from the life of Jesus highlight when little is more. Both happened while he was with his disciples in the temple. The religious leaders were trying to catch Jesus in his words. Chief priests, teachers of the law, the elders, they all wanted to arrest him. But that didn't stop Jesus from calling them out. He said, "Be on guard against the scribes who love to walk around in their long flowing robes, to be greeted respectfully in public, to have the front seats in worship and the best places at parties. But they cheat widows and take their homes. And then they try to make themselves look good by saying long prayers. They will pay for it in the end." These religious leaders were influential and powerful people, and they relished their status and the authority that they had over others. Their position, though, was meant to serve God and to serve the people, but their arrogance made a mockery of God and kept others from following. Spiritual pride remains detrimental to religious leaders today, and I hope that you have not encountered those who have tripped you up. Those who have taken advantage, misused their influence, or manipulated you in some way or others around you. If you have, then be assured that that is not the way of Jesus. Over and over again, Jesus chose the descending way. At critical moments, he took the way of humility, the way downward. Becoming human, being misunderstood, dying on the cross. He chose the downward way, not just once, but over and over again. And know this, humility isn't just about leaders. It's for all of us who are in Christ. Downward mobility with Jesus goes against my inclinations. It goes against the advice, the world surrounding me, and against the culture of which I am a part. And it's difficult to recognize pride as a sin when it's held up as a virtue. But hold on to this from the Apostle Peter, who said this, "All of you clothe yourselves with humility toward one another, because God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that he may lift you up in due time. Cast all your anxiety on him, because he cares for you." Jesus sat across from the collection box for the temple, and he observed how the crowd gave their money. Many of the rich came making large contributions, and maybe with a show. But one poor widow came up quietly, maybe a bit embarrassed, and she put in small copper coins worth just a few measly cents. Jesus called the disciples over, as he often did when he had a lesson for them, and he said, "The truth is that this poor widow gave more money to the collection than all the others put together. They all gave out of their wealth, But she, from her hopeless poverty, has given everything she had, even what she needed to live on. So for the second time, Jesus dismisses the influential and the powerful, and instead he honors the little and lowly, the humble and the downtrodden. Jesus called attention to what she gave in full devotion, not the amount. She and all that she possessed belonged to God. What is favorable to God is not the apparent value, but it's the heart. We look on the outward appearance, but God looks on the heart. Over and over in the Bible, God chooses to use the small and humble. A widow's small jar of oil for making bread during a famine never became empty during the days of Elijah. And a person in the wilderness eating insects and wild honey was the messenger to announce the coming of the Messiah. God spoke to the boy Samuel while ministering to the Lord, and all the people of Israel knew he was established as a prophet. Surely this tells us something about our own lives as well. We may have limited resources, be less talented, and have little money. It may seem like we're poorly positioned for anything special. But here is our key spiritual insight. Of greatest value in God's kingdom is not influence or status, but a simple life that is devoted to God. It is then that we become quite useful instruments in the hands of God.